All right, I'm trying to go live with the Cuban crisis. I don't know what the slow up is, but let me see if we can. I don't even know how I can send a link from this thing. Hold up, people. My man is trying to get in this thing so bad. Man, I can't even send a link. Okay, there you go. Boom. Boom.
Look at that.
I told you just do it like that.
I don't know what you did.
Hey, look. All you got to do is go and set up a live feed, and then there should be something that pop on the screen and say invite whomever you want to have in.
That's what usually happens, but it's not, it happens on its own, but it's not doing it.
Okay. All right. If however you want to edit it and start off from now or bring it over to your page, I don't know. But if you want to build,
we'll just do it like this. We'll do it like this and I'll share it.
It's not a lot of people right now, but whatever anyone can gain from it, so be it. Meanwhile, I'm gonna put it on cruise control and we can build. All right.
Okay.
So, being as though this
so you ready?
This is your interview. Let us proceed. I'm sorry, I'm still wired from working all day. So right now it is 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are live. We are live.
Almost 3 minutes to 3 where I'm at.
Oh, I'm sorry, brother.
All right.
Hit me.
All right. Black Power Palante. I want to thank everybody for tuning into this interview. A very anticipated interview that I've been wanting to do. Detour. I'm sorry. We had some technical difficulties, which is why the video is coming out like this. Versus on my page, it's on Brother Chuck's page.
Mm-hmm.
But before I introduce or have the brother introduce himself and we get into the questions, there's something that it's been irking me to say, and that is this: there are a lot of people that say or have said that Malik talk about the Nuwaupians way too much. And if everybody's noticed, there's a reason why I have not really talked about the Nuwaupians and done videos on the Nuwaupians. And the reason is that the challenge is always there. The challenge is never going to go nowhere that I won't debate them or nobody else won't debate them. But they had their chance last March. And they backed out of the debate that was going to be on Sixth Dynasty. And this is to anybody who doesn't know this. They backed out of the debate a day or two prior to the debate, which was going to be March 19th. Along with that, I encountered 6 Nuwaupians at what was going to be the debate between Sarah Sunseti, Young Pharaoh, and the Amin-Ra squad on if the Metanetta had been deciphered.
Right.
And so those individuals didn't show, but lo and behold, Princess Pork and Mr. Damon along with some of the other minions, show up, and I confronted them. And there's footage to it. And so what I look at it, how I look at it is that they're all bark and no bite. And so there is an abundance of information that Chuck has put out, a whole bunch of information, toppled with the videos that we've done on Six Dynasty, videos I've done on Facebook Live, videos that Cartoon has done, and just about anybody else has done. So that's kind of why I've backed up from this. However, like I said, the challenge is still there, and we will not back down from any Nuwaupian. So without further ado, I bring you up Brother Chuck Morgan.
Okay. All right. Hey, hold up. Let me. I'm gonna pull over in a minute, but yeah. So, Nuwaupianism.com still in full effect. I'm still doing my thing, loving what I do. Yeah. For those that don't know, my time spent within the organization, goes all the way back to the 90s on up until York's incarceration. Now, I officially pulled away from the organization sometime in 2011 when I started putting the questions in doubt towards other teachers, because I still maintain, even though I was here in Hawaii, I maintained my connections with a lot of the teachers who were still active in the organization. So, out of curiosity and doing some study, because I did step away from it for a while, I just started throwing the questions at them. And, I started seeing them. And these are questions that, we used to always have mock debates in debate or in the tabernacle at the time. And some of the others were, questions that York would throw out to us and, try to see how you handle yourself and see how sharp you are. And so I just kind of pulled a number of them out that I remembered and started hitting the brothers with it. And I saw that, they were making up stuff, couldn't show anything, no sources. It was just a bunch of rhetoric. And so that, subsequently altered my complete view of the organization. And then I just started doing my thing with questioning. So I think I've said this on multiple occasions, but in a nutshell, that's what it's about where I am now. Started off with the basic question. Where we are. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I was just driving beneath an underpass.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of noise. All right,
reception went up.
So I don't know. I don't want this to not. I don't want it to be going in a circle. So if there is some issues, some things that, boom, let's kick it. Cause I'm cruising down the highway at 9 o'clock at 3 your time. It's funny. Only time I see anybody do this is Garfield when he goes live, huh?
Yeah. I have a question for you. I don't know, if this is something you've been asked or if you've actually peeped out that this is something a lot of people will use against you, will use against me and some other people. Well, I'm sure you've heard this. And there's a reason why I'm asking this question. I mean, I already know what you're going to say, and we pretty much know each other's position on this. But there's people, the response to this.
Wait a minute. Go ahead. Say it again. You went
okay,
out.
So there may be people who have never heard my response or your response to what I'm about to ask. Because some people are just they're they're romanticists, you know. Okay, so we have Dr. Pork, a black man, and there are people who represent, or there are people who are in organizations that represent Black Power, and there's individuals that rep it on their own. And so they will say, why are you guys assisting in the crucifixion and the character assassination of a black man that's already in prison? He's in a supermax, you know. And why do y'all do it? You know, and so what I personally say is, well, is child molestation Black Power? Is committing adultery with other men's wives Black Power? Is stealing the money from your people Black Power? Basically, he's the ultimate charlatan. So is charlatanism Black Power? So that's basically my position on that. So I can really give two shits about what happens to him. As far as I'm concerned, I think he should die a painful, slow death for what he's done. I consider him to be very much a traitor to his own people, and he's a devil. So I just want to know, what is your take on that when people come with a statement like that?
All right. I would approach it from several different angles. One, York always said, don't believe me, check it out, right? So, a lot of us over time have learned not to believe him. So we did check it out. And what we discovered in checking it out is that there were errors, there were deceptions, there were mistakes, there were fallacies that the general public had to know about, because that mystique, that myth has to stop. So debunking the literature that he made millions off of is part of what I do, and it's what others have done. So when people say, why are you attack, it's not character assassination. If anything, it is bringing a reality to what this man was about and what his business was about. He was in the business of deception. Now, granted, he was able to tie in some things that were based in truth, because it's a simple study. But at the same time, you mix truth with falsehood. And you parlay that into empire. That's not something that's good. So, one angle is, I'm just taking up the challenge that York put out. Now, some people say, well, why didn't you bring all this stuff when he was out? Well, because I was deaf and dumb as any Nuwaupian is today. You see? So, that argument has been put to me more the times than I can remember. And I there's so many ways to go about answering it, and that's one. The other is that, well, if his doctrine was so sound, it was infallible, just like he said, if the Christians, the Orthodox, their doctrines were so profound and so irrefutable, right knowledge, then I shouldn't be able to find the error, mistakes, the fallacies in the linguistics. I wouldn't be able to find anything but truth. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just sharing with the world my discovery. You see? That's all I'm doing. It's not about attacking his character. I mean, all of that stuff, his character is already documented. All I'm doing is just sharing with the public my research, my study my engagements with him, how he taught, what he taught, and just debunking it. That's all I'm doing. Are you still there, Cuban? Let me see if I can find you again. Oh my God. Hey, come here, Gab. Let me because I don't like be sitting. I don't want to sit here like I'm giving a lecture. If I can bring you in. Who is this? Oh, it's Neb Chikara. Let me see. Let me see who I can find. Okay. Boom. Who is this? I'm trying to conduct. I wanted to do this interview with you, but I don't know. Your reception keeps dying out, and my stomach is grumbling. I just got off work, and I'm hungry, and I'm ready to eat. So let's get this thing going. So who's there? Who's there? Damn, only 2 people. So I'm gonna wait and see how long it's gonna take before the Cuban or anybody else wants to step in. Okay. There's too many gaps. Okay, Gab. I'm gonna see if I can pull you in. You want to come in? Let me see. What's that? Oh my God, man. Got to upgrade. Okay, somebody's coming in. I was getting ready to turn it off. What's up, Gab?
What's up? What's up?
Only reason, look, because I don't know what happened to Cuban. I think it's reception. I ain't trying to dog the brother, but goddamn.
Somebody, well, in Miami somewhere, man. I don't know what's going on down there.
Say it again.
That's the Cuban. He all the way in Miami, man.
Yeah, I know. And I don't know, man. I want to, do this thing, but my time. See, this is why I don't have a lot of time like I used to. I don't have time to do this. I don't have to do that. Because I got this position, and it's taking up a whole lot of time. And then you got the wifey; she wants my time. So, as soon as I get on there and I'm starting to do an article, when you coming to bed? On my day off, like, oh my God, not like back in the day. But
yeah, right.
We got so much stuff on the website that it has. I don't want to just throw it out there. So the joint got to be right. It's got to be tight, because I try to make sure that when we do these things, there's no wiggle room for them to get out of, So I got one that I'm really looking forward to putting out, and I did an interview with this documentary that's going to be coming out, I guess within the next month. I don't want to, put it. I ain't gonna mention it, but you'll see it. As soon as it's released, I'll make certain that the link is up, and or if the person put another trailer out, it'll. But no, I was just what I was trying to explain, because he had a question that I guess some other people were bringing up. Why do you continue to beat up, attack York when York is in prison, et cetera, et cetera? Well, see, that my point is that, there's a lot of things that he said in doctrine that people still adhere to. So to help debunk that, all I'm doing is taking my time, my energy, to put this stuff in some kind of documented form so people can look at it, analyze it, scrutinize it, to the point of criticizing it. and see what it's designed to attack what York had taught. And all I'm doing is what he suggested anyone to do. I challenge anyone to prove what I say to be wrong. And so,
Correct.
doing it, I enjoy doing it. Because
Right.
Because at the same time, you know, it's also a teaching moment. So people say, well, what do you teach? It's not what I teach. All I'm doing is I'm addressing certain fallacies that he brought public and critiquing it, and we're going to primary sources and we're attacking it with the references, the evidence, things that he does not do.
Mm-hmm.
So I always and I hope they get this point that I don't have to attack him. I mean, there's more than enough people out there that will attack him. I don't even need to.
Yeah, right.
That's not even my MO. I don't get down like that. You know, I build. You know, we just go toe to toe. That's my thing. But you know, I'm just going and just doing my part to help dismantle that misinformation that he taught for so many years. And I will be going year after year after year to cover every single facet of what he taught. I can't do it. So I'm just keying in on things that I found to be interesting, things that people still question, or even what they're still talking about today. You know, like the new theology that's coming out of the Nuwaupian camp, whichever one of the denominations, certain things need to be addressed like right on the spot. Like with the one we did with what was the one on mermaids? Yeah, York spoke about it to an extent, but now they started taking from the Discovery Channel video, and then they taking some fake images and posting it out there in the book and saying that, oh, these are mermaids, and they're taking Egyptian glyphs. So, you know, I had to hook up with some of the experts in literature, you know, so, you know, we just had to debunk that, you know, because
absolutely
right. So if they were thorough enough, they would have did a follow-up on the video or on the article and saying, here are the actual primary sources to support what the master was saying and what's being presented in the publication. And they have yet to do it because they can't do it. And they're not going to do it. So that's basically, you know, the answer to that simple question. And because it's one question, there's so many avenues you can take to hit it. But I just try to go just straightforward and say, hey, I'm just doing what he said do. He said question it, I'm questioning it. And that in the process of questioning it, here's some evidence that refutes it. And then I move on. Now, granted, I'm not going to be doing this much longer. I got so many other things, you know, I got too much that I do. And I'm just, I love doing this, you know, I love to you know, go into history and then match it with what he says. Listen, I've been looking for an audio, something he said that's going to finish this article that I have. But if I don't, I mean, I've already finished it, but I want to put that part in. If I don't have it, it just won't have the same effect. But in the process of trying to find it, I listened to about 8 hours of back-to-back lectures, back-to-back for almost, I mean, for hour after hour, 8 hours here, 6 hours there, 5 hours, 8 hours. Because, you know, at work at night, I can, you know, listen to all this stuff. You know, I'm gonna say this one thing I can say, man. Malachi York should have been a comedian.
Yeah.
I mean, his credit, dude is funny.
Oh yeah.
York is a funny dude. That's one thing I have to say that I enjoyed about him is that dude make me laugh. And I found myself when I'm at work, we'll be looking at me, what are you laughing at? Dude be saying some funny stuff. You know,
man, you're funnier now.
Aside from that, you know, the doctrine is just so wacky, whack. You know,
That's funnier.
I'm listening to some of this stuff. Like, oh man, I forgot that he even said it.
Right.
And this guy, I don't know what he was smoking. I don't know what he was drinking, because I know he did get drunk
Oh
occasionally.
man,
But some of them classes, man, I'm saying, man, did he really say that?
man. So what was it that you trying to? What audio was you trying to find?
It was it was one of the lectures he was giving down south in regards to the movie Crying Game. The movie Crying Games, he made a reference to the guy who played in the Stargate. In the Stargate,
Okay,
yeah, he just made a comparison. And
Bruce Willis. No, Kurt Russell.
Kirk Russell, yeah, and the young actor Dickerson or Davison, something like that. He was just making a comparison on something. I thought that was pretty interesting, that comparison that he made. So I wanted to get that quote and bring it into the article, and then I can put it out. Plus, I don't want to put the article out yet, because the documentary, when it comes out, it was addressed in the documentary, and I'm gonna be fair and let this person have that in that segment that I was a part of. It ties into the bigger picture of what that documentary is about and who it's about, or what they were about. So I was trying to find that, and I come to find that some of these things, a lot of this stuff, they've been taking down York videos online, not YouTube themselves, but people who posted it up, because they see that I'm going into these videos and I'm dissecting them, and I guess they don't want the legacy of the mystique to the fade, so they're just pulling a lot of stuff offline. Matter of fact, one video that was online on YouTube is gone. That one, I taught you, want to question me, and I taught you.
Right.
You can't even find that video anywhere anymore. You can't find
wow.
Audio. You can't even find the audio anymore. And that was that's one of the I was the next to the last one, because in that video, that's when he started going all into this Christianity mode and talking about Jesus this, and Jesus touched his heart. He's our personal savior, and this stuff is post right knowledge.
Oh, absolutely.
So I have the quote, because the portions of it that I had, I was able to write it, transcribe everything that he said. But as far as people hearing it, they would need to hear it, and then match that with what they're saying that he said. Because all of this stuff is just quote. Now this would be funny for them, because a lot of the neo-Nuwaupians, they probably are not up to date on this. But York always poo-pooed hadiths, right? Okay. So one of the hadiths that's current is that the publications that are all these publications that are coming out on the Patarat, or the actual fact, all this stuff is York doing this himself.
Same thing.
They're saying that he said that. Now, granted, when he was in Jones County and none of the other little jails, yeah, he was writing letters to people, and then they were able to, the administration would take that, redact it, do some editing, and add these things and make more little publications. But now they got a whole body of staff that are writing all kinds of crazy things and attributing it to him.
Oh man!
Now he may co-sign it, may say, okay, yeah, you can go ahead and put it out. But to say that,
right.
But he's
He writing letters from prison.
Right.
They memorizing the stuff he's writing.
No, none of that stuff is sound. But and that's why you have this splitting of groups within. Some say they accept that, some reject it. Others, you know how it goes. So all denominations, fall into that same pit. And
hey, Chuck.
Yeah.
Now, have you heard? Listen, I haven't heard from Nuwaupian Facts in about 2 years.
Right.
Now, the guy that was running Nuwaupian Facts, his name Wad Ray.
Yeah.
He called me up. He called me one night from a blocked number. It was about 12 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And he issued a challenge because he heard me on, he finally heard me on Garfield's show with with Jawu,
Yeah.
and he called me up. He was angry. He was like, "Gab, you turned your back on Doc. I heard you on I heard you on Garfield's show."
Oh, he heard it. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he heard it. Yeah, he finally heard it. Somebody must have let him listen to it. And I said, "Well, I said, well, you show me where we was wrong in the things we was talking about."
Yeah.
So he had, I guess it was his mate that was with him on the phone,
Mm.
and she was saying that she was one of the people who helped with the books, and she said it was writing to Zach that she helped. He ain't plagiarized anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, are you
Wait
serious?
Wait a minute. Hold on. And wait a minute. Hold up. Look, man.
Well,
How can you say
like,
he ain't plagiarized nothing when we got side by side, page by page, line for line?
oh wow.
How you gonna say? Oh, okay, all right, got it. We know what you want.
Yeah. I said, wow. I
You don't
said,
even
really?
have to go into that. You know, see that right there tells you I worked on the book and he ain't plagiarized nothing. Okay, well,
Yeah, exactly.
well, whoever put out that publication, whoever put them publications out, the Holy Tablets, give that a classic example. All right, and that Holy Tablets, that section when he starts going in, I think it's in the chapter of the living beast.
Okay.
Yeah, you take
Chapter
that.
6.
You take that chapter. You can look at all those spiritual esoteric breakdowns he's doing, and match that word for word with James Hurtax's book. Oh man, I forgot the name of it. God damn it. I can't remember the name of it, but I put the video out.
Yeah, I remember you put that out. Yeah.
Yes, that right there. A brother showed me that. I was like, "Oh man, I'm putting this up." He said, "Yeah, go ahead." And yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it side by side, word for word.
Yeah.
So you cannot say,
"Oh man."
you know, you get out the way. Get out of here with that.
I mean, I told him that night. I told both of them. I said, what about the sacred wisdom of Tahuti in the Kabbalion?
Mm-hmm.
I said, that's word for word, plagiarized, word for word.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, man, listen. I said, it's online. It's an audio online. You can buy the book. Because I found that out through my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
She showed me that book, and because she didn't know, but when she showed me the Kabbalion, and she was quoting from it, I said, it sounds familiar. I said, damn. I said, that sounds like the Sacred Wisdom book. I opened up the page to the because she was reading a section from the All.
Yeah.
And when I went to the book, and I borrowed her book from her, and I'm reading it, it's word for word.
Yeah.
I said, man, what the heck?
Yeah.
They ain't changed it. Only things he changed was the little Egyptian names and stuff. That's it.
Yeah. And all of those things constitutes as plagiarism because not only that academically, but that's also what he said. They just take things and twisted words around. So,
yep.
So, no, they just and listen, they just don't want to face the facts. You know, the man was a man. He had a hustle, and the hustle ran out.
It ran out, man.
Simple as that.
You gotta deal with it. I've been waiting for this guy. He challenged me that night. This is damn near 2 years ago. He challenged me that night. I said, well, whenever you want to call me up, whenever you want to get on one of the platforms, let me know.
Yeah. So
we can do it because he said he got the proof and everything that he is who he is. He's from Planet Risk.
Oh, my God.
I said, well, I've been waiting for you, man.
Hey,
I've been waiting because I was on that show for 2 years, about 2.5 years, man.
Yeah,
and I was with him for 2.5 years.
I saw you because I was going through my research stuff. Hold on, let me park right here. And yeah, I saw it and I said, yeah, there you go. And that's a long time ago, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. I don't know if they're still updating the website. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to mention her name, but one of the victims hit me up, and they going after them because her name is on their site, and she was telling me that one of her employers saw it, and she had to explain that she was involved in a cult, and so
Wow.
she get legal representation to get that website taken down.
Wow.
And other people, I'm not gonna mention her name, because told me not to say anything.
Right.
But yeah, and matter of fact, what I'm gonna do, because I told her out of courtesy for her, I'm gonna take the post of I'm gonna take the post regarding her off of the website, or at least take her. Well, I took her picture down, but at least take her name off so that get found. If you do a search, you won't find it because the girl, she switched jobs and now she's dealing with something else, and then she got to explain this nut. What happened? Right. She being molested, she got to explain that. Because these fools posting her name up in bold, do one thing and it's just not fair. That happened to her when she was 13. 13 is when it started. And now she's still having to deal with that.
Wow, that made no sense.
But this is the deep part about it. I sent her a text like 3 years ago. She must have thought I was down with them because she never responded. And then she finally hit me up. She said, told me why. And then she was very complimentary about the website and what, my contribution to it. And that made me feel good that, I said, yeah, I'm just trying to protect y'all, defend y'all, clear y'all's name, and just put the facts out there. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But she's definitely on the mission.
That's good. That's definitely good. That's, people got to deal with that. You got to explain. Anybody who got to explain themselves being in a cult, to other like strangers.
Yeah.
And I know it can be difficult.
Not just that, the way that they elaborate on, her and what happened to her. Not that she was molested, but that she was involved in the organization. And then they claim that because at that time she said nothing happened. Because that's what she was told by the administration. And they just elaborate on her, and she's just outraged. She said, I have all the text of what she said, so, it's just. And
this is Nuwaupian Fast you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Because her name is on their website, and whenever you do a search and her name pops up, when you start a new job and they do the background check, they come across this. I'm like, she was involved with that crazy sex cult down in Georgia. Right,
exactly.
Got to explain. No, I wasn't a participant in it. I was a child, and we were involved in this inner circle, and he molested us, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just like I said, I'm just doing my part to even help that I pull her name off, and she didn't ask me to, but I said I will do that for you. That'll help. I would appreciate that. But I thank you for everything.
Yeah, because the guy he don't really care, because he wanted to be like York.
Yeah,
he's fascinated on controlling people. That's what he was. That's what he did. He loved controlling people.
And York bred a lot of people like that. We still see remnants of that today. Now that he's gone, you got all kinds of people who are now trying to pop up and say that Yanu is now incarnated in them. Melchizedek, they're the new incarnation.
Right.
Me, I'm the successor. New nation. This shouldn't even be a surprise, because you go back to Drew Ali, when he passed on, guys popped up saying I'm the reincarnation of this and that. You know, different. It's to be expected.
Right.
I mean, we knew that was going to happen before when I was still living in the community. You know, after he got pulled over, you know, when they got York, you know, we were talking and say, yeah, you know, a whole bunch of wackos are going to come out and say they the incarnation of him.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
That's what it is and all that. So, you know, you can't listen. All I'm doing is I'm just doing a part. I'm just playing a small role in trying to help. But, you know, I'm one person. You know, I applaud Tarnoon for doing what he does. Ujaru, when he was with Ujaru or Ampu, what he's doing now, you know, he and that battalion that he's building, you know, with the language, they're taking it in areas that you cannot stop them. You're not going to be able to touch them. I was watching where is the Ankh. You know how they people put out there thinking that the wound is shaped like an Ankh and all this other stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, and there's already there's a glyph that illustrates what a vagina, a womb, all that stuff is, and it's not an Ankh.
It's not all right.
I'm using that as an example that there are so many people that see the pseudoism, the fallacies, and they're going at it head to head. And we got to do this because we got to rid ourselves of all this spookism. We can't progress when we got this nonsense that's right at the front door. And so I applaud Ujaru, I applaud Garfield. You know, I mean, Brother Jabari, you know, even on Sonetta's show, you know, I listen to him. I don't watch him because you know, when he's on, I'm working and I have to listen. But I applaud, you know, the different positions that are coming forward, and all that pseudoism stuff is being eradicated when you're looking at primary sources and you're taking those primary sources and you're attacking spookology.
That's right.
You know,
all the hustlers dying out.
Yeah, just like I was telling somebody else, I was saying that even just if York did come out, right, he would never be able to stand against some of the kids that are out there now.
Oh no!
I mean, York would be laughing. He would be at the bottom of the barrel like he is now. But the garbage that he taught, and the way look, man. I mean, for whatever theology they may affiliate themselves with, that's not the point. But my point is that they're so sharp and they're so vast in their ability to research and collect and gather intelligence and utilize that and apply it to debunk this or that. I mean, you look at, oh man, I mean, you like I said, Wajaro, the brother's a brilliant thinker. Okay, I've known Wajaro since the early 90s, you know, back in DC. You know, been to his house, you know, we go way back. I mean, the brother's a brilliant thinker, and his in-depth knowledge of the Mechanetra is just flawless. I mean, he's and I'm finally on board taking the classes, you know, getting that stuff together, because I'm going to be going out and taking it to other areas as well. Then you got Jabari, you know, you got Garfield, you know. I mean, hey, you got Zion Lex, you know. I mean, what's that, brother?
Keep your cool, Zion. Keep your cool.
I mean, you got all kinds of people. Shaka Akmos. You know, I'm just saying the sharpness that they have to be able to go in and do this. I mean, York couldn't stand against no people. He could never. You know, because I was listening to a lot of this stuff. Because like I said, I've been trying to find this audio, but listening to him trying to any reference he made to Egyptian language, never even once did he present the ability to read, write, or decipher any Egyptian text.
Ever.
Everything that he elaborates on is spookism. stuff that cannot be supported, can't be substantiated, can't be verified, checked, scrutinized. So he said, don't believe me, check it out. All you got to do is just say, well, name one Egyptian text you transliterated and translated. Because that book called the Egyptian Book of the Dead was nothing more than Dave Paulus Budges' book.
Oh man,
He
that was pathetic.
And people are somehow getting translations mixed up with commentaries, because that Torah is not a translation. That El's Quran is not a translation. El Injil is not a translation. They are just books with footnotes and adaptations from the Strong's Concordances, the online software, because York used to tell me to get one of those online programs that has Hebrew and then English. But then when you start looking at it and checking it, the book itself is saying all kinds of crazy stuff that's not even in the text. So it's not even a translation. It's a book of footnote. It's a tafsir. It's garbage.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
And the brothers are so wrapped up in a cult, man. Their minds are twisted, and them guys are all messed up, man. I mean, I was there, but I don't think I was. I mean, this is the bad part. These guys never even met the man. They are his most staunch supporters. Never met the man. Malachi, their God, and he's a spook God to them because he never met him. They never met him in the flesh. Because that's what York always said. Oh, so if Master Prophet Muhammad is your God and you never met him in the flesh, then you following the spook God. So the same thing now applies to all those neo-Nuwaupians, the latter-day Nuwaupians, that never met York in the flesh. They're following the spook God. And he's spooky because the stuff he's giving is spookism.
Man. I mean, it's funny because it's funny when you go back and once you go back and just think about all the things he said and he taught, he was teaching about himself, his whole entire journey.
Yes, I've noticed that. A lot of the commentaries that he would give whenever he's elaborating on and trying to stretch out an answer or he's sidetracking a question, he starts elaborating, and then I'm seeing things, I mean, crazy stuff. And they're like, okay, he made a comment. He was attacking Sunni Muslims, and he made a statement. And I'm gonna put that comment up. I have the video finished. I'm gonna wait until May 8th to post it on YouTube because I wanted to fall in line with the commemoration of the Liberation Day of York's and his victims.
Right.
So they call it the day that the land was raided. I thought it was Emancipation Day for the Nuwaupian victims, for York's victims.
Yeah, that dude said some things, man.
Huh?
I heard that dude say some outlandish things on it. Because I was more studying the audio and not the books. I mean, I read the books, but I was really focused on the audio because I was always listening, and I had all the CDs. So, and some of the things he said, I just laughed. Like when he was saying something to he was talking about the Black Devils. He said the hardest thing for me about the Black Devils is writing about myself.
Well,
and I'm like, damn,
that one was rough.
Picked up on that.
Oh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, that was rough because when that book came out, and everybody was looking at each other, and you didn't know who to trust because if you laugh too hard, you're a Black Devil. If you start questioning, now you're a Black Devil.
Right.
Everybody was paranoid, and then everybody was caught. Oh, you're a Black Devil. If you didn't do this, if you didn't come in with a certain amount of money, you trying to sabotage the mission. You're a Black Devil.
Oh my goodness. Everything was Black Devil. You're a Black Devil. You ask a question, you're a Black Devil.
Yeah. And man, that was a weird period. That was a very rough time when that came out. And anybody that questioned him, and if you had a question in doctrine, and then you're not getting the answer you think you need, or it's not proven, and you start questioning further, you're a black devil. You got to question.
Oh,
you need to seek refuge. You need to seek refuge in your Creator from your wicked self.
They used to do that to. See, I came up with Jetty.
Yeah.
I came up with him, and we used to be in class, and he always had questions, and the guys, like the teachers, used to get frustrated.
Yeah.
Because the questions that he was asking, they like, well, do you want to come up here and teach? You think you asking all these questions every week, brother? Like you ask the same thing. You asking the same questions. Like you already know the answer to them, so you know the answer to them. Won't you come up here and teach? You know, so it gets to get a little rowdy in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like being questions.
I've done that to several people when we used to have classes in Baltimore. Brother come up and say, well, brother, I'm going to step. This is yours. Come up here. I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to introduce everyone. Here's the new teacher. He has a new doctrine for us, and it supersedes the doctrine of the Holy Tabernacle Ministries, and I'm introducing to you Jesus. And I sit down, and then the people in the audience start questioning him. You know? That was a unique strategy that York used and applied to people that may have questioned and doubt. Because, you know, you're not there to be a public speaker, and then you asking good questions. So to sidetrack it, to put up a red herring, you just step down and let that person come up. Now some people have taken on that challenge, and they gotten up there and did teach. I knew a brother that back in the 90s who was really deep into Methunetra. I should have hooked up with, really stuck with that brother, but he was on it, and he was breaking stuff down, right by my table, breaking stuff down. He's wrong right here. Let me show you why. And he's just going through it.
Wow.
But he never, I saw him upstate one time. Either upstate or downstate, one of them. And, but he never, critiqued York directly, but he did take his books apart and say, man, he's wrong. He's wrong. He would go through the glyphs itself and just show me where it was making a mistake. That's impossible. And we're not even going to go into Sumerian literature and language. You know, I put in more time with that. I specialized more in that than I did with, just I'm a baby in trying to get this Methunetra down, Testamentinetta. So when I get up there, boy, you better look out. But I'm going after some people. And I'm not necessarily going after brothers and all that. I'm going to take it to another level. I'm going into some other circles and other people, other groups. I ain't talking about brothers and sisters. We can critique each other, because there's more than enough people doing that. But I got some, scholars, people of other persuasions that out there on the circuit. And I there's some people I want to go after with the same intensity that I put in with Nuwaupians. So there's some things that be going on down the road. Nuwaupians, it's going to always be there. I'm going to still be on that. The website going to be up. And then we just started breaking ground on the book. So
yeah, I'm about to ask you that. Yeah, that's my next question.
Yeah, we working on it now, man. It's in the works.
That's the nail in the coffin right there.
That's be it. That's going to be it. And where even if I'm dead, because I don't see. I think I probably got another 20 years left. Well, maybe 25, because I'm in the peak of my health. I'm in the gym about 5 days a week. 2 hours twice a day. I'm good.
Yeah, man, you be all right. You good, man. You good.
Good. My son, he's an MMA fighter. He done got me into it. I'm doing my thing.
Oh, you know, an MMA fight, huh?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Jordy's the champ, man. My man, that's my boy, my baby, my youngest. My youngest is, he's old, but he's not my youngest. My oldest son is a fighter, and I got my baby who is he's an A student. He's on the football team. Man, baby mom's is like he's got your brains. So I'm good. So I say I can retire about 20 years from now, and the book is going to be the legacy.
Right.
If the website drops dead or whatever happens to me or whomever's, the books. Once it's out there, it's going to be out there.
Be out there, maybe we'll have that book, man.
Forever. And because when I'm gone, because the Nuwaupians are not going anywhere.
No.
I mean, that's the reality. Because cults, as long as there's an ideology for weak-minded people who don't want focus in facts, there's going to always be room for a cult.
Always. Especially
for black folk who are looking for some type of a messiah, and York made it. He perfected the art of crafting himself to fit the mold of a black messiah. So there are a lot of people who fell into that trap, and their minds are just locked in. They're glued in. So the book is just going to be it'll be a counterpoint, and it'll give people a chance to see another side, and then they can take what he said, some of his most profound teachings, and see that it's all nonsense. Garbage. Plain and simple.
Garbage.
I mean, with the money that he put into the Holy Tablets, he could have, built his singing career, got some more singing lessons, or, aspire to, write children's books or become a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, man, he could do so much.
But
he did so much.
His hustle was, that whole thing. Coming out in the 70s and, everything is all about the Black Power thing, He jumped right on the bandwagon.
Yeah, he wanted to exploit everything he could.
Yeah.
And the movement that was out there, he was jumping on it.
Yep. And that was how he was able to build his empire. Not to mention that he had all this free money that was sent down bi-weekly, $100, $200, $5,000 every 2 weeks, tax-free.
Tax-free.
Tax-free. Yeah, he didn't pay taxes on that because a lot of the communities that were putting out, like the D.C. community used to boast that we turned in $2,000 every 2 weeks. $2,000 a week. That's just money that you send down. That's not counting the money you have to buy products with.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you got money that they ask for. They just call your store and say, there's a project, Baba wants this. We need you to send down X amount of dollars. We need you $1,000. We need $5,000. What can you contribute?
Wow.
That's why when they got him, they had the suitcase with I think it was I forgot how many thousands of dollars it was in it. So he had the money. It was a millionaire, but he was cheap. A lot of the girls that he was molesting, he was so cheap. Instead of taking them to a really upscale jeweler, this fool would take them to Walmart and buy a little cheap rings. It's bad enough he was doing that, but dang, still, you're a millionaire and you're still cheap.
You're still cheap. You do all by myself. It's all about him.
Yeah, it was all about him. And it's like I tell people, man, you got to understand that when you really start analyzing the mind of a narcissist, it's a very complex personality. And it may not be you, the person, because you may be a giving person from the heart. You know how to have that kind of compassion. But a narcissist, it's all about them. Whatever happened to him as a child, it caused him to be such a cold person that it was so self-centered that it was all about him and his self-gratification. You know, the grandioseness of his personality and what people could do for him. He had to always be the king, the god, the leader.
Always, man.
On top. I'm not only of the royal line of the Mahdi from Sudan, but I'm also related to Ben York through the Lewis and Clark expedition. And matter of fact, my aunt is found in the book by Malcolm Forbes, the history of the Black Indians. You see her right on the cover, Diana Fletcher. That's my aunt.
Oh my goodness! And if you're religious, I'm Melchizedek in the Bible.
If you're religious, I'm not only Melchizedek, I'm Michael, I'm Malachi, I'm Murdoch of the Acadians.
Tahuti.
I'm Tahuti. Hey,
Ray.
This is something that a lot of people seem to not caught is that when he says that he was Tahuti in that publication, in those early actual facts publications, he said that the serpent in the garden was Tahuti.
Right.
And he being Tahuti, he was there in the garden.
He was in the garden.
He was the deceiver. I don't know why a lot of people didn't catch or elaborate on that fact.
I don't think like they really wanted to, man. Or to some who did, they didn't want to expose that to the people.
Hey, we did, and I would put it out. Put it out on the website. As a matter of fact, I think when Tarnoon sees this, he's going to chop it up, and then we're going to put that out on YouTube too, which is good. I don't mind. You know, all I'm doing is just, hey, if it's out there,
it's going to be this is going to be part 30.
Use it, yeah, part 30. Yeah, but you get it. Hey, when he start on you, boy, it ain't gonna stop. I give that brother that.
Dude, he come out video every day, man.
I know.
My goodness.
Like, oh no, not.
I'm tired. Who is this guy?
You gotta
stroke the liar.
You gotta be relentless when you're dealing with them, because you gotta look at it like this. They have, a few thousand followers. But there's just a small minority of us that are critiquing York's teachings. And so, the little bit of play that we get, it's having a devastating effect, because people are saying, wham, y'all believe that?
Mm-hmm.
Hold up. Y'all believe that we had wings and we was flying through the sky at one time?
Oh, goodness.
And Muggs, I believe in that.
Yes.
And then at the same time saying, we do not follow beliefs. If you don't have the facts, you can't prove it, then I don't want it. Because I've been fooled in Christianity, I've been fooled in Islam, I've been fooled in Judaism. I don't want to be fooled again. So if you don't have the facts, then just shut up. Just get out of my face. This is what York said.
Yeah. That's like that used to be like one of the most overrated things even when I was in there. We don't believe in anything.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, we believe that this man from playing the rest without proof.
There you go. There you go.
Like, come on.
We believe. Oh, I'm sorry. Belief. You're gonna be naive. Forget about that. Since we accept it because the teachings are supposed to be. Because York even tells you in the Holy Tablets, I call you to accept these facts that were bestowed upon me. Those who guide my pens, the masters who guide my pen.
Yes.
I ask you to accept. He didn't say believe. Accept it. So, do you accept that York is from the planet Risk? A word from the Arabic language, a planet that predates the creation or formation or appearance of Earth. Yet it's in a language that's rooted on Earth. There is no Sumerian equivalent word for risk. There's no Kemetan glyph. There's no sign. There's no determinative for that planet risk. And then he got these. And then listen, if you listen, like I said, I was going through a lot of these old, some of the last. I was just going through all his audio, right? Now he was saying that Billy Myers, right, when he started talking about all this extraterrestrial stuff, he was saying that Billy Myers. First, he was talking about little guys with bubble heads, you know, talking about the Greys and all this other. It was all this universal thing, right? He was going on all about this. And then he says that then racism came into it when a guy named Billy Myers came out and said that he saw some people and they were Nordic looking. Right? So when he was saying that they were Nordic, he was saying, oh, these were the beings from the Palladians. The Palladians. And they were blonde-haired, blue-eyed people. Right? And then, naturally, York comes out in the publication and he has these illustrations of the Palladians from the Astara people. So right there, he has, to this day, I even heard the Nuwaupian assassin going on, oh, these are the people from the Palladians. Because York said it in the book. These dummies are not even researching. Yeah, I mean, it's almost an oxymoron to even talk about it. But because they have pull and they're out there in places like in Georgia, on like with the Nuwaupian assassin, Kedar will still be on the table, and you know he's proselytizing people to come over to this stuff. And so what I've noticed is that they, just like with the older publications, when something comes out to mask it, you don't have enough time to really go through everything. So book after book after book just piles on top of information that you forgot about. So when someone who starts to critique it pulls it up, you forgot about it. And that's all I'm doing. So with things like the Palladians and these people from the planet Risk, all this stuff, that's all that's the spookism stuff. That's that pseudo-ism that runs rampant and is dominating the Nuwaupian cult. And that's why no one takes them serious. And they say, well, why do you take them serious by talking about them? Because there are always these little pockets of people that need to have a counterpoint. You see, when York was remember when he was incarcerated and he was they had released the Isles of Patmos. All right. So there was the Nuwaupians' biased view. So anybody who was trying to come up with a counterpoint, they didn't really have much to go on to refute or challenge York's the Isles of Patmos until around 2012 when we started coming out with the trial notes and what was said at the trial and a lot of other things that totally refutes what York said. So you got to have this balance. You got to have this counterpoint. You got to have the primary sources to challenge this stuff. Something that York, he could never stand today even when the question and answer class, it was always if it wasn't scripted, because there was some classes I remember, because I remember listening to a tape when we lived in a community in D.C. It was Jonathan Johnson, Brother Tex. He had asked York a question, and he had asked him because the office said you'd ask him this question to get things started. So a lot of those True Light tapes are scripted classes, or York is not even there. He's inside of the other office reading off quotes, or other people are handing him notes. So it gives the illusion, because you're listening to a True Light tape, or you listen to one of the AEO audio, that he's really kicking this stuff, and all he's doing is just lecturing. He's not taking the time to look at a passage in a text, transliterating it and translating it and clearing it out. He did that with Arabic,
for what we understand at this point. But he never did it for Hebrew. I mean, really, he certainly didn't do it for Sesh Metunetu. He definitely didn't do it for anything in the immigrant from the Sumerian time. None of all of the stuff that he's been doing, and because he was so by using the Bible and getting people to accept what he's saying by way of all these little quotes that he's using to validate his argument. Now he goes outside of that and he's giving you a mass of nonsense, and because of what he had I guess proven himself to be by way of the doctrine then, we just accepted it on face value.
Right.
So people didn't even why I don't need to check it. They already have. So the Nuwaupians had the faith. You had the faith, and they still have the faith. So when we put this stuff out and challenges that faith, they can't process it. It's hard for them to deal with. So they go into this state, this mindset, this cognitive dissonance. They can't handle it.
All the time. All the time.
You see it. That's why if you notice, they don't even when certain of us put up a post when it was the Nuwaupian debate group or forum, there's no debate, there's no argument, because you can see it, they see it. And there's a lot of them over time because it was like slow cuts. And it just was they were just bleeding. And they couldn't stop the bleeding anymore. So now there's no real resistance other than people who just are going off the stuff that they heard. They can't deal by going to a primary source and then saying, here's where York is right.
Right, they can't do it.
Yeah. So that whole thing, my point in that was that, with that whole Palladians thing going way back, you can take that all the way back to, Astara, Helena Blavatsky, as a matter of fact, oh my God, I got to go listen to it. I forgot. I've been listening to so many of his stuff this past week. I'm just blown away by some of the crazy things that I heard. I was like, oh, how did I miss that one? So there's a lot of... He's giving me across the... Huh?
No, I was going to ask you if you run across the one True Light tape or CD, whatever. If you run across the lecture, and I have it, I just don't want to listen to it. I haven't listened to him, but the one where he goes to say whatever, he's the avatar or whatever Muchachid did, whatever.
Yeah.
He has the ability to. He said he has the ability to read all information in the world in like 12 seconds or a minute.
Yeah,
something like
I remember that. Yeah.
I want that. That's where I need that one right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull that one up too because I mean he's giving me so much material. Oh man, it's just a matter of having time to sit down and go and chop it up and then put it out. I mean, I just don't have that time anymore. As bad as I want to do it, I just don't.
Me neither. Yeah.
Just want to get something out there to the public. In addition to the website. That people can really digest it, collect it, gather it, and then utilize it. Use it like the same way you say. Use this as medicine to go out and set the record straight.
Set the record straight.
Yeah. I don't. Now this is in the group. Is it? I'm not able to see. Are there any comments coming up in the group?
See,
I mean, I know it's late over there. It's like what?
Yeah. People sleep over here.
Yeah, everybody sleep. A lot of people are like, why you come on so late? I just got off work. So, I see Ojaru's there. I can see. I
see Ojaru.
Yeah, I can't see the other.
Ashwin's there.
Yeah.
Ashwin said, he says there was a time York had people dressing up like cowboys. Well, what was that all about?
Yeah. Well, the way he explained it, this is for you, brother. The way that he explained it was that when they did the relocation down in Georgia, he didn't want to go in with everybody wearing religious garb. So to try to assimilate themselves within the population skillfully and stealthily, He wanted to go in with a country western look, and that what he wanted to do was he tapped a brother named Cleve Francis. York, there was a country western brother named Cleve Francis who put out a few recordings, and York said that he was going to convert him, and that was going to be our ticket to get our foot in the door in the town of Edenton, Georgia. Now, bear in mind, during the time that we were going upstate for the 19 classes, they were still wearing it upstate. When we first went up, we went up to the Catskills. We went up on the land, and first thing that I noticed when you're going up, it was like a lot of woods, and then you see a number of Native American totems and poles, and it said, "You're on Indian land. Violators beware," and all this other stuff. Oh, my battery's dying down. Hold on, my battery's dying down. I don't want to go in the house because I don't want to lose it. Well, I guess I can. Hey, look, let me do this. Let me go in. Out of my back. Hold on. Let me do it this way. Once you get started, you don't want to break the connection. Hold on. I'm still in my car. I just got off work. I ain't even had a chance to stop. Hold up. And I know Jaro can relate to this with an MC Iron Lung. Oh, that.
MC Iron Lung?
Yeah, I think that's what he said. Because when he starts going, boy, it's long with it. Hold up, let me see if this thing is on. Yeah. So that was hold up. I hope this thing is charging. But that was what he had said. But like I said, we was wearing cowboy gear before we even made the transition down south. As a matter of fact, this is a wild story right here. I was wearing York's boots. That was one of the dumbest things. That was the funniest thing. Yeah, because all right, when it was upstate, he had several pairs of ride boots. It was a brand called Ride. And we went up to grab his son, his young son at the time, Faisal, and Abdullah, and I forget his sister's name. I forget her name. But they left. They were sent off from upstate and down into Baltimore, and so he gave me a pair of his boots. And I was walking around in D.C. Oh my God! I was walking around in D.C. with another brother, because we was wearing the cowboy gear, because the brother who was in charge back then, known as Sadiq, Mitchell Hotep with the triad, he was wearing the cowboy hat, and I was wearing the big boots, the brown boots, but they was like 2 sizes too big. I get on the bus, get on the bus with the books, you got the cowboy hat, and I had a white cowboy hat at that. I'm looking like the rifleman, Oh my God! So I'm sitting up on a joint, and I didn't want to go to the back, but when you're in, you leave from Anacostia, because I would go from Rhode Island Avenue, and then I would ride down to Potomac Avenue or Eastern Market. So I would set up my table, or go on a walk route. So we get on the bus. It was the A8, one of those buses. Anyway, I got on the bus, went to the back. Oh man, all these kids was laughing, man. They laughed me to shame. I'm wearing Dr. York's boots. They were 2 sizes too big, and they had a hole in them.
Oh no!
The underside, underneath had a hole in them. But hey, you couldn't tell me nothing. Cause I said, man, I'm walking in the master shoes.
They don't understand. They don't know.
Man, oh my God, that was hilarious. I mean, it's funny now, but back then, I said, I don't care. They could be 10 feet long. I got Dr. York's boots.
For real.
This is my gift. Man. I slept with them boots on. I must have been a fool.
Wow.
Man. They laughed. They was laughing, man. They was saying, look at this. He got some roach killers on.
Oh man, they was killing it. They was calling York's boots roach killers. Man. Anyway,
Oh, that's
yeah,
messed
man,
up.
that was some crazy, man. We had some crazy times. I would say this. I can tell you some crazy stories, man. We was down in Florida one time. That was when Yahweh Ben Yahweh was heavy, right? And I remember, oh man, my phone's getting ready to die. I thought this thing was charged. We would,
Taking a lot of power.
yeah, we would, and my girl, she's in the Philippines right now. She's like, you home? Yeah, you probably think I'm running the streets now. They would think that the Ansars were Yahweh Ben Yahweh's people. So, you know, a lot of the people back then, you know, it would be me. It was like 5 of us down in Florida. And because I did the artwork, so I was building the masjid down there and, you know, doing the calligraphy for the store. And, you know, we go walking around, we have on white, and we go in like in the Haiti part of Opa-locka, Florida. And man, people would throw eggs at us, they would throw rocks at us, and you say, you go Yahweh, we go our way.
Oh, wow.
Man, yeah, they thought we were, because Yahweh Ben Yahweh were doing some foul stuff down there too.
Oh, no doubt.
And we went into this neighborhood where, you know, his crew had uprooted a whole apartment complex, kicked everybody out on the spot, just housed them.
Oh, man.
And, you know, a lot of murders was going on down there. You know, I remember one time we saw this body that was over in the grass. And that freaked me out. I was like, man, I'm ready to get up out of here. It just got real scary. And, you know, they would see us, you know, like one time I had set up in front of, they had a Yahweh Ben Yahweh supermarket down there in Florida, in Opa-locka. So, you know, the brothers would see us, you know, and they would let us set up on the side. You know, I set up my little table, my little, I had like a little book board, you know. I carved a board and I would have slots and I would have my books on it. And I would just walk with that, you know. And on my thing had like a little gun holster that had all my oils and incense. And, you know, the brothers would let us over and do our thing. So, you know, we just had a lot of hilarious moments where people thought we were Yahweh Ben Yahweh. And I can't tell you how many times, you know, you just ride by and then people would just scream out, you know, some curse words that you know, thought we were Yahweh Ben Yahweh. When we started doing guard, we had to stop doing guard because people started shooting at the houses we're in. Because they thought we were Yahweh Ben Yahweh. It got dangerous down there. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, man. Yeah, it's just like one day if Cuban would have been asking a whole bunch of good questions, you know, you probably pull all this stuff. This is like my therapy. When we started doing these little question things and these little shows, it's like therapy, getting all this.
Get all of it out. This bit. Get it out.
Get all this stuff out of my system. Get it out.
Have a seat. Lay down, man. This.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh man, get it out. Yeah. This is my exorcism, you know. So I mean, yeah. Like I said, I had fun with it, you know, and there's a lot of good people I met over the years, you know, that I'm still friends with today. Like I said, Mujaru, Rick, Anthony, whatever, you know, that was a good brother, man, you know, just to see where he is now, you know. Oh, I know you're listening, because I'm just saying, because, you know me. I say it to your face anyway. I say it to you all the time. You know, he's a brilliant thinker, and I see the thing what he's doing with the Seshmet Netter, man, it's going into a whole new area. It's going to change the mind, and I want to be a part of that. In my last 20 years on this earth, I'm going to be a part of that. You know, get this thing going, man. I just want to be a part, do my part to help.
It's needed.
It just yeah. So the Nuwaupianism.com website, like I said, I got a lot of material that's going to be coming up. It's just a matter of the time to put it out. That you just got to be just because I want to do that. I still got to do my job here.
the sesh medinator, I'm going to perfect that. My girl, I got to give my time to her. My son, oh my God, the time is like this.
Man, ain't enough time, man.
Yeah,
Enough time.
I mean, so I got to value every minute of my time. I got to balance this thing out, man. But it's got to be done. It's got to be done. And doing them videos for YouTube, they may look pretty tight, but that joint takes a long time to make. You want to have it perfected properly. You want it right.
Imagine.
Yeah. Because, I get all kinds of comments on the page. People are just coming there like, wow, this is really interesting. I'm getting nothing but really positive stuff from what people are gaining from those videos. And I just want to get some more of them put out. And, when I really start moving into the other areas, really putting a heavier emphasis on the language, all that stuff. Yeah, it's gonna take it to another level. And like I said, I'm just trying to do my part, man. And and there's so many other people are becoming inspired. Not so much as going after the market; they're obsolete. But just the whole notion of misinformation that's been packaged so well that we digest it and we pass that nonsense on to another generation. And so it has to stop. It has to stop. I see it. I from doing this for as long as I've been doing it, I see it, and I see the dangers of that mindset and what it can do to people, and how people can become engulfed in it to the point that they'll fall for anything. In fact, York even said it. I got to pull up the audio where he said. He said, once you get people to believe anything you say, you can say or teach them anything without having any proof. So he's just telling on himself, left and right, just telling on himself.
So you listen to him, you read him, he talked about himself the whole time?
Yes. That's what he does. In the process, he'll demonize other leaders and attack them, and then when someone critiques his doctrine, he gets all bent out of shape.
Right.
I mean, when Bilal Phillips went after him, he almost lost his mind.
See, he said he was going crazy, man. He said, "Oh man, I got to read the whole book." Respond.
Yes. But look, being his old Cuban crisis, I don't know if his phone died or his whole reception just went blank.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Miami.
Huh?
I was just in that Miami life, man. By the beaches and stuff. I don't know where you're doing.
Hey, I live right by the beach, so I got excellent reception. Nah, I ain't doing that. That make it look like I'm putting the brother down. I ain't nothing like that. Honestly, he got a lot of stuff down there. But we're gonna chop it up again. It's no big thing. He just wanted to do something, and I was like, okay, yeah, right. As soon as I get off work, I'm still wired. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. But today, like I said,
he owe me money, man. Tell him I'm gonna charge him later on, man. For taking over his interview, man.
I hear you. But because I'm off today, so I'm gonna get with the brother, and get one of my class, and then I gotta get with my girl, and just gotta get some things done. I'm gonna finish up this article because I really am looking forward to it, just to see the reaction people are gonna have from it. Because it's something. It was from a lecture he gave, and he just went on. So it's Egyptian related. It's dealing with Kemet, but all of the things that he's saying in it is so pseudo, that we literally had to take it apart, section by section by section, and it took so long. Honestly, this thing has been sitting for almost a year. That's how long we're doing it. I've been getting more and more, and I keep adding stuff to it. So that's one.
That's from the same lecture?
Well, yeah, that really long one. Yeah, that's from that same lecture. Yeah. And like I said, when that documentary is released, whenever it's released, you'll see it's going to be addressed in the documentary. And I guess I'll just go ahead and put it out because I promised them that I'm not going to put it out yet because they want to put it out in video first. Which is cool. I don't mind because it ties in with what they were trying to, tie in with York and other cult leaders.
Right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and go inside because my girl, I see she popped into it and she wanted me to get back on and get in the house to talk to her. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this, and maybe we can pick it up tomorrow or something. Because I'm gonna be free for the most part, and maybe we do something. But I appreciate you coming in, spending some time.
Definitely.
I'm gonna leave this up, and hopefully if Tarnoon or anybody grabs it or chops it up, at least edit out it just started off at the point where we just started building, and I don't like having a lot of gaps and quiet moments, unless there's music.
Right.
But look here, I'm gonna go ahead and roll, okay?
All right, good brother.
Nice talking with you, Gab. All right, we'll see you out there in the cyber
Sure.
world. All right, now.
Definitely.
Okay, now, peace.
Peace, brother.